Hey guys, so I'm just starting off by taking my client's braids down. These are the braids she just had under her other wig that she got from me. She had been installing them herself, and I finally convinced her to let me actually do it because she didn't really know what she was doing and she was cutting the lace up. And so now I'm just about to braid her down. And this was my first time braiding with these new nails that I got that are kind of long. So don't mind that. They might not be the neatest braids. Now that I've finished her braids, I connect the braids when I braid them. I just pull it up as I'm braiding the braid beside it, and I go from ear to the middle, then the other ear to the middle. So the last braid, I will connect the two braids beside it into that one. Then I just flip it up and bobby pin it in place. What I'm going to do now is get my freeze spray and a comb and just comb back any of the edges of baby hairs that I missed with the edge control and blow dry them on cool so they can be slicked back and out of the way when I do her bald cap, so I won't end up cutting any of her hair or it won't be sticking out. And if at any point, like now, I am covering the camera, I apologize. Gotta get used to it. So now I'm just getting a cap that blends well with her skin tone. We're going to place it over her ears and then cut a hole for her ear to come through. Now I'm going to take some more freeze spray and just spray it across her hairline and a little bit in front of it. And sometimes I put my clients under the dryer, sometimes I don't. Today I did, but I still blow dry the sides on cool before I put them under the dryer just to make sure that it's gonna get dry. And if you don't want to put them in the dryer, you can just blow dry the whole thing, and I would keep it on cool the whole time because it's freeze spray, so I just think it works better with cool air. So now I put her under the dryer. I'm going to pluck the wig. It is pre-plucked, but I wanted to do a little more. And I plucked mine on my knee. I got this from watching some video, I don't think it was on YouTube, but some video of Arrogant Tay where he just puts it on his knee. And I had on jeans that day, so it was fine, but usually I put something underneath it because I might have on black jeans or black tights and I can't really see how much I'm plucking. But having something underneath so that you can see what you're doing will help. And like I said, it's already pre-plucked, so I'm not plucking a lot. So I spray it with some water, just comb it back and go in with the tweezers horizontal, not vertical, pulling them out so I can just maneuver up and down and where I want the hairs to come from. It's a lot easier than doing it vertical. Don't mind me stopping and talking. I can't multitask apparently. Now she's back from under the dryer, I'm going to cut off the excess cap. And you want to cut it as close to the hairline as possible. So if you need to pull it up some, if it got too much spray on it and it's stuck down, I usually use one of my nails or the one blade of the scissors to pull it up and then cut it. You want to be careful when you're doing this not to cut your client. Right there, I'm just cutting some excess off. So right here, I'm just getting some foundation. I'm using the Ruby Kisses, I believe, the one that everybody uses, like Hair by Erica J and Slay by Jordan. And I'm just going over the cap and a little bit on the hairline to make it all blend. Then I'm going to take some alcohol, it's either 91% or 95%, something like that, and go in front of the cap. I try not to get it on the cap to make it lift at all. So just in front of the cap, just on the skin. And now I'm going to go on top of that with some Bold Hold Skin Protectant. Like I said, on top of the skin, not on the cap. You don't want anything to make it lift. So now I'm going to flip her unit inside out and put the same foundation on there. I put it all over and then in front of the hairline too, just in case. You don't want it to be too light in the front because you didn't cover it with makeup, because that's where people are going to be looking, really, around the hairline. Just make sure you get it all over and in front of the hairline too. And I'm putting it underneath. I really only put it on top if it's necessary at the end when it's on the head installed. Now I'm gonna spray some freeze spray on it just to seal it in and protect it from interfering with the glue. I've seen some people mix makeup with their glue, like powder makeup, but I just feel like that still messes with the integrity of the glue as far as the time span that it lasts. Like, it might look good then, but it might come off in 2 days too. But I haven't tried it, so I can't really tell you for sure, and I don't plan on trying it, so I definitely can't tell you for sure. So now I'm just putting her wig on and just lining it up, making sure I don't need to cut any more of the cap off. And if I do, I just go in like this and lift up and cut it off, because you don't want the cap to come in front of the lace once you cut it, because there's nothing much you can do about it afterwards. It's going to be showing, or you can cut it and then it won't be stuck down. So now I'm going to go over around her ears and cut the excess lace off, because it makes it easier when she lay it down to have the lace going straight into the glue instead of it's having some hang off, so that it will melt into place. And so I'm cutting from back to front so that I don't cut too much in the front, and I can leave excess sideburns. That part will be fine to cut later, but I don't want anything laying on top of her ear while it's drying on the glue. And I'm just going to the other side to do the same thing. Now I'm just gonna pull the unit back and go in with my Bold Hold Active, and then using the wrap tail part of this edge brush to blend it in. She had an eyelash in her eye, and I tweezed it out. See, I'm good for a lot of things. I don't know why my hand is on my hip. Excuse my side and back fat. I'm just fat right now, sorry. But we're working on it. So with the Bold Hold Active, I like it personally for myself. Others can tell you how their experience with it. I know it works different for different people. People that sweat, people that are dry, it just works different for different people. But I like it, and I like using it on my clients. And so I have been doing the 3 layers, and I don't do a lot because I used to, and I don't really see a difference. Besides, when you use a lot, you go further back onto your cap, and that's defeating the purpose of protecting your hair, because your hair is under there and it's a cap. It has little holes in it, so it's gonna go through and the glue is gonna get on your hair. So when I apply mine, I dot it along the edge of the cap, like the very edge where I have it in front of the hair, and then move it up in front of the cap onto the skin. So I try to avoid getting on the hair at all. Now sometimes it does get on the hair on the sides, on the sideburns, but you just have to be careful when removing it if it does. And I generally use the glue remover from the hair store, the 30-second brand glue remover. And if you don't have any of that, or you can't find any of that around you, just use oil. Any type of oil, really. Just let it saturate for about 5 minutes. And then go in, and the wig should be coming up. And then to remove it from the skin and hair, then I would use alcohol. It's like little pieces of glue still stuck. And then when you use the smaller or thinner layers, it dries faster, because when I was using the thick layers, I would be impatient sometimes and the glue wouldn't be dry, and I'd be looking at my scalp and looking at white glue spots, thinking, no, it's gonna dry. So like when I move to the left side, the right side is already basically dry. If you see any little white dots left in the midst of your dry spots, just rub them out, thin them out. So now I'm going to pull the lace up in front of the glue. Before I press it in with my comb, I'm just going to make sure everything lines up. Because if you press it in before it's lined up and you need to end up moving something, it's going to be a little more difficult, and you might mess up your glue pulling it up, or the cap. So just try to line it up before you press it down. If it touches, it's not going to hurt, but if you press it in there, that could do some damage when you pull it up. So I just pressed it in and blow dried it a little bit, and now I am putting the comb in the back of her unit. And then I'm going to put this elastic band on her. Then I'm going to sit her under the dryer again. Now she's back. And so don't mind how long it takes me to take this elastic band off those nails, y'all. I was struggling. So now I'm going to take an eyebrow razor. Just cut down the middle and then cut up the side. Then cut down the side. You want to be careful when you're doing this too, not to cut your client. And I cut a little extra lace, not a lot, like literally a very small amount of lace. If I pull it up and the glue is right under it, like it didn't stick to the glue, I'll leave a little piece of lace when I cut so that I can press it back in and melt it back down once I do her edges. So don't be nervous or scared if you pull it up from the glue. Just make sure you don't cut that extra lace off so that the glue is just sitting there, because it's going to be hard to remove as well. So just leave the little excess lace to press back down into it. But you want to cut where the glue is, because that's their hairline. And it's okay to cut some of the hair and lace off. So now I'm gonna part out her baby hairs and sideburns. I do a little bit, not necessarily of a sideburn, but just like a little piece in front of the ear, and you'll see me trim them down. Waiting for my hot comb to warm up. Until that is hot, I'm gonna hot comb the edges forward so they're easier to loose down. And be careful when you're doing this as well, not to burn your clients. Because depending on the hot comb you have, they can get hot. So I'm gonna go and take the razor again, and that's the little sideburn part. I do maybe like 2 inches, and then the rest of the edges I do like 1 inch. I know sometimes you can cut them shorter, but I try not to cut them too short at first, because once you cut it, it's cut. But you can cut it even shorter if you think they're too long once you've moosed them down or used your edge gel to put them in place and you think they're too long, then you can cut them again. So don't cut them too short at first. So now I'm taking the Nairobi mousse and doing the edges with my edge brush. And I use the brush side, not the comb side. And I put the mousse everywhere along the lace and hairline, because even if it's not the edges, just because I feel like when I melt this down, it helps it melt back into the glue again. Because you might have a little lifting, but it's not anything dramatic. It's not gonna come off their head. So I already had this wig curled when she came in. She was supposed to be getting another unit, but then she saw that one and wanted it, so we went with that one, but it was already curled. So I just put the little black strips. Right now I'm showing the wig she did herself. She just chopped it up. But I just took the little black strip, paper, whatever, and put it on top, and then I put the elastic band on top too to help it melt, just in case I didn't tie it tight enough. I'm gonna blow dry it. You could put them under the dryer, but I already put it on the dryer twice, and I was like, let me just blow dry this. And just let her sit for a second and let it work its magic. We were just talking. So now I'm gonna take her elastic band off. I'm gonna go and blow dry any wet spots I still see, because you want it to be dry before you take it off. And then I'm gonna use my scissors and go along where her part is to cut it and tear it and get it off of there. I comb and adjust her edges and sideburns as needed. Then everything is done. Thanks guys for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.